We are live.
Unscripted, unshackled, uncouth.
What you're about to hear is for more mature audiences only.
It's Miguel and Holly, Uncensored.
Well, welcome to a Monday podcast. We are live on the Miguel and Holly YouTube and Facebook page.
Hello.
And we've got a guest coming on with us here in just a little bit.
That's right. That's right.
What
time? Soon, right?
Yeah, in the next few minutes, probably about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
So today's weird.
Why?
Today's weird.
Well, I mean, yes, it is.
It's weird.
Hold on. I feel like every day is weird.
True.
We're living in some kind of alternate universe right now, so that's not strange that you might say that. But I'm curious, what's particularly weird for you?
So yesterday, and if you're listening to this, you really should just do yourself a fun service and look at the YouTube or Facebook page, Miguel and Holly, because I just noticed the crackers that are behind me.
Yeah.
The Townhouse flatbread crisps.
I know. I look at them every day.
Italian herb.
Every day. I got nothing in here. And I'm like, I mean, sometimes I just want to something, but they're over there.
So yesterday it was really cool. I got a phone call from one of my best friends from high school and college. Her and her husband have been trying to conceive for a very long time. They decided to go a different route of IVF. That didn't pan out, and it's stupidly expensive. Stupidly expensive for something that could or could not work.
Right.
So they decided to go with adoption. And yesterday, just out of the blue, we get a FaceTime, and there she is with her husband with the new baby.
Oh, that's so exciting.
I was like, oh my God. Like, just totally unexpected. Just such a cool moment. Like, and the baby was on the dad's chest, and he had his shirt off, as I forgot, what is that?
Skin to skin contact.
Skin to skin contact. And she was just beaming, and he was beaming, and it was like I had to pull the car over because Abe and I were driving, and I was like, wait, I want to see. Oh my God. So I was just like, oh, just so awesome.
I love that.
And then it's so weird, just the juxtaposition of life. Right before the show ended, this is why I got kind of quiet. I was on Instagram, and I saw a friend post something kind of cryptic on their Instagram talking about
today, just now.
Yeah, like literally right before the show was over with, I took a second just to look at Instagram, and the message looked like they were breaking up with their significant other, or I couldn't tell what the message meant. So I did a little digging, and it looks like their boyfriend just passed away unexpectedly. And they were like super young, in their 20s.
Oh man.
And so I was just like, oh my God. So it's just the juxtaposition of life sometimes, of like, you just never fucking know.
You don't.
Like
you don't. I mean, we have one of our radio friends, Drew Garabo, is going through this cancer battle. And I keep up with his stuff. And, repeatedly he keeps saying that he's glad to wake up alive every day.
Right.
And I really think about health a lot, and how much healthy people take their health for granted.
Right.
And how short of a time we truly have on this planet to be with people that make us happy and to live the lives that we truly want to live. But we get so caught up in like society and other people's expectations and fear. And it just, when events like that happen, like when a young person unexpectedly passes, and it just hits you like, oh God, the fragility of it all.
Oh my gosh. And then I only met the person that passed like once, but I know that my friend who was with him was just head over heels for this person. Just totally. I mean, like I hadn't known this person very long myself either, only for about a year.
Yeah.
But like everyone who's known him for a while, they were like, you can definitely tell a before and after they met this person.
Mm-hmm.
And so my heart broke of just like, oh, you meet this person that you're like, yes, this is it. And then they're just taken away from you so suddenly.
Yeah.
it's just like, my God, just the fragility of life is just so insane, and how you truly have to live each day.
Maybe because I know we have a guest coming on, and I don't want to get too but I have something right in this vein that I want to talk about a little bit, and it needs a little more breathing room than to just tack it on to the end of this conversation.
Right.
But remind me, because I'm going out of town this weekend
Mm.
to visit a friend who is dying.
Mm.
So I want to talk through that because I have thoughts, I have questions. I want to make sure that it's okay first to talk about it.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like this would be a good space for it.
Yeah.
And it just really it holds with everything that we're having this discussion about now, about the fragility of life and making the most of it and everything. So I'm very cognizant of it, especially as I head towards this trip that I'm leaving on Friday. So maybe Wednesday, maybe Friday, we set aside a little time to get a little heavy.
Yeah, no,
Not
absolutely.
like we never get, not like my ass isn't always bringing heavy shit to the table every damn podcast.
I mean, listen, that's
like if I can't unload it with you all, I'm just gonna get buried underneath it. So sorry, you choose to listen. you just, if you don't want it that day, just be like, I don't need Holly's shit today. Let me know.
Just fast forward a little bit. But I mean, I feel like a lot of people, that's a reason why people, you in the Platypus Posse, like this podcast, is because we do go there, and it's such a difference from what we do on the show, where on the show we try to keep it light, we try to keep it fast, because you're on your way to work and you got a lot of stuff going on. Whereas,
and we're also new to Charlotte.
Absolutely.
So we're trying to keep it like, easily digestible chunks. Like I'm not trying to uncover my deepest traumas to someone I just met.
Right.
But you here in the posse.
Yes, we're like, girl,
right?
Unload on me. Unload.
Oh boy. So anyway, just Wednesday or Friday, let's just make a little mental note to carve aside some time for that.
All right. I'm going to get this person on the phone. Give me 1 second. But yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna go out of the shot real quick as I dial them up.
See you in a minute.
I'm really trying to get different organizations and people in the Charlotte area on the podcast to talk about different things that are going on. Because it's such a vibrant city.
Oh yeah, for sure. I almost was going to say something, and then I was like, wait, I'm not supposed to talk about it. Then I'm like, wait, this is a podcast. I'm going to be there next week, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Oh, are you?
No, I am. Daddy AJ just texted. So, surprise. Gonna be like, that's what Miguel and I were talking about. I'm like, I don't always know the schedule. Like, sometimes it's like, am I coming next week to see you? No. Oh, yes.
Miguel, I'm ready to put you on, okay?
Miguel's getting someone on the phone. I'm going to be in Charlotte next week for a couple days. That's all.
All right. I love how this is the most like unprofessional podcast. We're just like,
it's just it is what it is.
Jonathan, are you there?
I'm here. How are you?
Awesome. I'm great. So I'm Miguel, obviously. This is Holly, my co-host,
Hello.
and you're on our Miguel and Holly Uncensored podcast, streaming on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. And Jonathan, tell everybody what organization that you head up.
Hey there. Absolutely. First off, thank you so much, Miguel and Holly, for having me on today. Really, really appreciate being here. So for all your listeners out there, my name is Jonathan Barrio, and I am the executive director of the Charlotte Gamers Network. We are the largest 501c3 LGBTQ gaming nonprofit organization in the United States.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's
Here.
Crazy cool.
In Charlotte. Really cool. So let me just sort of explain how I sort of found out about you guys.
Yeah. Unpack this one, because Miguel, how does that work with you and the connection? I mean,
yeah. So I am not a gamer whatsoever. My mom.
But you are gay.
I am gay, and I do love gay. Hi, gay.
Okay.
So yeah, I
not
always
a gamer though.
No, not a gamer. So I always say that growing up, my mom, I remember I was like 4th or 5th grade, she bought me so I could, maybe get some guy friends in elementary school. So she bought me like a Sega and a Super Nintendo.
Oh.
And I liked Sonic, but I only played when my friends would come over, but I found that I was like way too competitive and I would get angry if I lost. And
Oh.
so it was like, you know what? Maybe I should just stick to reading and student council. Like that isn't
That's best for everyone else that you don't do all this stuff. That's
exactly. So how I found out about Jonathan and the Charlotte Gamers Network, I went to a drag show over Memorial Day weekend at this brewery called Devil's Logic.
Mhm.
And I didn't know anything about who was putting it on. I just saw drag brunch and I'm like, we're new to town. We had a friend in, let's go. And Jonathan gave a speech at the beginning of it talking about not only do they do games, but they do so many beautiful things in the area that I was like, we have got to have you on the show. So talk about how you all came about and all the beautiful things that you all do in the community, Jonathan.
Sure thing, Miguel, and thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that and your sentiments. And one thing that I want to let all of your listeners know is that although we have a focus on gaming and what that means, we aren't just video games, right? So when people equate, exactly, like, well, I don't play Xbox and I don't play a PlayStation, what are those things? The big thing that I like to remind folks is that every one of us is a gamer in some capacity, whether you're playing a game on your mobile phone, whether you're playing a board game, Scrabble, Monopoly, whatever it is. We also do all of that as well. So we're actually hosting our largest event, our largest monthly event called Gamer Gathering. Now, it's happening next Friday on June 17th at the Carolina Esports Hub right here off of Clanton Road. And this is something that's very near and dear to my heart. When I first came to Charlotte about 3 years ago from Miami Beach, I quickly realized that there was an issue of accessibility in our LGBTQ community here, where if you were gay and you wanted to network with folks, there was really only a couple options. Either you had the money to go to big fancy galas, or you had to do the sporting organizations and things like that. But then, in this day and age, it's kind of hard to commit to something like that for 8 weeks, right? And there wasn't really anything else in between. So the biggest thing with us was in founding Gamer Gathering, we wanted to provide people with a place where they could meet each other, network, play games, and enjoy and who they are and live authentically. So we created this event where people can come in, enjoy a hot meal, drink from an open bar featuring liquor, beer, and wine, enjoy drag shows, live DJs, all of this, and they can enjoy it for absolutely free. Now, I'm saying completely free. You don't have to pay for drinks. You don't have to pay for food. There's no ticket to enter. You just come as you are and enjoy all that you can and want, and responsibly, of course.
Well, yeah. I was like over here, I'm like, this sounds amazing. Let's be responsible.
Yeah, and it's funny because we actually started on July 6th of 2020. So our organization is a pandemic baby. A friend of mine, Zach, and I noticed that there was a need in our community. I'm sure, Miguel, as you know, in many other LGBTQ metro areas, where do the gays go? We usually go to bars and we go to restaurants. Mm-hmm. We go to brunches, right. Things like that. So in the midst of the pandemic, when all of that was closed, unfortunately, a lot of us lost our social connectivity to others overnight. Mm. And it was very, very important for us to keep, hearing about each other's day and building those friendships and those relationships. So my friend Zach and I, we built this organization. And at first it was just me and him. We would play Call of Duty on every Wednesday. And then our group grew to 4 people, and then to 8 people, and then to 16 people. And we were like, well, hold on a second. I think we may have something here. So we hosted our first event in October of 2020. That was our very first Gamer Gathering. Wow. Now, y'all, we had about 10 people who came to that event. Obviously, with the pandemic in full swing, we kept capacities low and all of that. And I'm proud to say that as of last month's Gamer Gathering, we had over 300 attendees. Wow. Who come to our monthly event.
That is awesome.
Wow. And just a little kind of snapshot of what Miguel was speaking about earlier. We're not just a gaming organization. We really want to grow our community and give people the opportunity to just enjoy and see what makes the Queen City so beautiful. And we do that in a number of ways. Our events aren't always related around gaming. We also take folks to the Night Center, and we watch Broadway shows, and we go to movies, all sorts of different things like that. So we don't just do the gaming side of it. Outside of that, we also have a lot of prizing and a lot of other ways that we can give back. So one of those for next Friday, actually, we're going to be giving away a $5,000 gaming PC from one of our corporate sponsors, Alexander PCs, based out of Chicago. So you can come in next Friday or this Friday, actually, and you may walk away with a brand new gaming system. Outside, yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And outside of that, we do a lot of philanthropy in our community, and that's kind of why we're a nonprofit, and that's what really brings my passion in around this, and why we do the work that we do. Just a few things that we have planned or that we're already executing on. We're partnering with Novon and Atrium to provide gaming experiences for children dealing with debilitating diseases that unfortunately have them bedbound or things like that. So we're actually going to be bringing in gaming stations to pediatric wards, so these kids can feel like kids again and have those opportunities to, network and mingle with, virtually with other kids as well, because we can link those all together and they can all play. We also do days of service. We were actually just highlighted in Queen City Nerve, a local newspaper here, for our work in moving Super Abari. We had a group of about 80 of our volunteers that assisted the old Abari arcade bar in Charlotte, a legendary venue. If you haven't been, you got to go, and help them with their reopening. They just reopened about 4 weeks ago on May 16th. And then outside of that, we're launching a new program in 2023 where we will be providing once a month a gaming system to a marginalized youth. And we work with CMS to identify those kids. And every December, we also sponsor a youth for the holidays and get that youth and their family holiday meals, games, all sorts of different things. So our intent is to bring our community together through the shared nostalgia and passion that we all have for gaming. Again, whether it's Call of Duty on Xbox or Angry Birds on your phone or Scrabble on a tabletop, it really doesn't matter. We do it all.
Oh man!
So, Jonathan, when
what
do
a
you
great
sleep?
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, sleeping.
When do you when do you find time? I mean, for an organization that you just started a couple of years ago, I mean, that is amazing.
Truly.
Thank you. I mean, it's not easy, and I would love to take all the credit, but I've had the good fortune to surround myself. Right now, I believe our leadership team has about 15 other people who help make this happen. People much more intelligent than myself, who have very great backgrounds in business and tech and finance. And it's through their hard work and their support of building this vision together that I truly believe we've been able to enjoy this meteoric rise that we've had in Charlotte.
That's awesome. I mean, and as new people here, that's really cool to hear, because you get so nervous, being in a new city, and especially if you moved here or anywhere else during the pandemic, and it's like, well, how do I make friends? What do I do? And so the fact that you took the bull by the horns and you said, well, we're going to make this happen.
We're gonna make it work.
Yeah. So what brought you here to Charlotte?
So funny enough, my fiance is an attorney with Cadwalader, Wickersham and Taft, the nation's oldest law firm. And our original plan was to move to New York City. And that was the plan from the get-go, and we were going to do that. And they called him one day and were like, hey, we have an opening in the Charlotte office. And I'm from Miami Beach and he's from Salt Lake City. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, yeah, Charlotte, that's a interesting place, but the firm's sending us, so why not? Let's go check it out. And you know what? I got to say, we came here and we absolutely fell in love. And that's, kind of how all that transpired. I would have never thought in a million years that I'd be living in the South, but, I'm enjoying every minute of it.
It's so funny. So you probably don't know our background, but Holly and I were in Tampa for 7 years doing our morning show there. And then we got the call at the beginning or end of last year, beginning of this year, to move here to Charlotte. And so it's definitely been a transition. Holly splits her time between Charlotte and Tampa. And then I'm here permanently with my husband. And so it's been a transition for us, especially as gay people. You sort of choose your family, and we had a huge support network of friends and family in Tampa and St. Pete. And so moving here, it was kind of like a gut punch almost, of like, there were times I was like, man, can we just have a weekend where like there ain't nothing going on? And then we move here and we're like, you ain't got nothing, bitch.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing.
That's what you asked for, right?
That you got it. You get to rest all the time on the weekends. And so moving from a city like Tampa, St. Pete, that was so gay friendly, so active, there was so much going on. We've been a little nervous about what the gay scene here in Charlotte is like. And so it's really cool to see that, you saw a need and you really went in and made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. What's really interesting about our organization is that, we're larger than our colleagues in New York City and Boston and Atlanta. And I think a big part of that is because those metro areas and those other areas that tend to be LGBTQ friendly are so saturated already. So there's a lot of work that needs to happen in a place like Charlotte for sure. But I think because of that, there's a lot of opportunity as well. To your point, I mean, it's unfortunate that we don't have something like Ybor, here in Charlotte, right? Like, there isn't a drive, there isn't a place where you can go and there's 6 different bars within walking distance. Right. I think we have 3 or 4, if that.
Yeah.
And they're spread out all over town, so it is unfortunate in that way. And I think it's why so many LGBTQ Charlotteans are clamoring for something different, for something new. And I think the pandemic has really changed all of our mindsets around events and all of that, and I think for even a larger part of our community too, I know we were just reflecting on Pulse that happened yesterday, the anniversary of that incident. And, I think a lot of us also need to feel safe in those spaces and where we are. And I think that just, it's breathed a lot of new life into people doing alternative events and things that typically the LGBTQ community doesn't do in order to be safe and feel safe and meet people in a new setting. And I think that's a big reason why we took off in the way that we did. And, something even more interesting to me, Miguel and Holly, is that, we keep data points on all of our guests, who they are, where they come from, nothing crazy, but just like, when did you move to Charlotte, things like that. And we found that over 73% of all of our members have moved to the Charlotte area within the last 18 months. It's a crazy big number.
Wow.
New Charlotteans who are wanting to meet people and engage with folks in a friendly setting where they don't feel pressured as one would in a bar or something like that. The great thing is that gaming, picking up that controller or moving that game piece on a board, it's the greatest equalizer. It's the greatest icebreaker, whether you make $5 million or, you're working at a fast food restaurant.
Right.
Doesn't matter, and we see that all the time. We've had Charlotte local elected officials, attorneys, lawyers, bankers, all come to our events and mingle with folks that they would have never had the opportunity to mingle with. College students, people working in the service industry, things like that. So it's really cool to see that all being brought together.
That's so awesome. Well, my husband and I will be attending some of your events, especially after, seeing what you all do and what you did for the drag show. And we had such a great time. So we can't wait to experience it and help and join and be a part of it. And from the Miguel and Holly show, we'd love to partner in the future with something with you all to make some stuff happen, because we are all about helping out and bringing people together. And that's what, you'll see from our fam members from Florida and all over the place, and the new ones that are coming into the fam here in Charlotte that we love to help out. And one of our biggest missions as a morning show is to make sure people know that they're not alone, that they can be a part of something. So that is so awesome that you're doing that, Jonathan.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the both of you, Miguel and Holly, for not only spotlighting our organization, but sharing with your listeners just about the work that we're doing and how important it is to be yourself, live authentically, and just do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
How can people get more information if they're like, I want to be a part of the Charlotte Gamers Network?
That's a great question. So your listeners can join us by visiting www.charlottegamers. Now that's GAYMERS network.com. That's charlottegamersnetwork.com.
Love it. And if you are listening to the podcast, we always say you should check out the Facebook page, the YouTube, where we stream it live. We also have Jonathan's name up with their Instagram handle as well. So, Jonathan, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
So great to meet you.
Thank you so much, y'all. Really appreciate y'all and hope to meet you in person soon, Holly.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one, y'all. Ciao.
Bye.
Wow.
What a great organization.
That is insane. That is so insane. And
really cool.
When we went, because he talked about their philanthropy and stuff, and Abe, my husband, was so inspired because they had some sort of like local vodka that you could donate to and you could get that would go towards the gaming console, I think, that they're planning on giving. And so he was like, so I donated for the bottle of vodka. Don't be mad at how much I spent.
Oh.
And I was like, how expensive did you make this bottle of vodka? And he was like, it was for the kids.
It's for a good cause.
The kids. And I was like, how much?
Okay.
How much, Holly, do you think he spent?
$200?
Thankfully not. I would have had a heart attack. It was 100.
Okay, I was like, I'm like gonna really overshoot here because I'm like, I don't know. Maybe he really want to help them kids. I don't know.
I'm a kid. I need help. Help
but
me.
$100 even. Good lord.
But yeah, that's what I'm finding here in the area. I mean, even this weekend, and I'm gonna tell this story probably tomorrow or Wednesday on the show, is we were hanging out by the pool at our apartment complex Saturday, and we had went to a drag show, then went bar hopping, just the two of us a little bit. And then we went back and sat by the pool and we started talking with these people that
What?
Your video just froze.
Oh.
And it was like mid blink and you just look like this.
Well, it happens. What's weird is that your video goes slow, so everything takes a while to like catch up. So then it took me a while to see that. It's iHeart Wi-Fi.
I love it. But we were talking to some of the people there, and like everybody had just moved here.
That's bizarre. And like we hear that stat that gets thrown out all the time about the number of people that really do move to Charlotte on a daily basis. But like, I guess I didn't really think that was serious. Like,
thought it was fake.
I thought that was like a fake stat that they were just using to like lure people in. I don't know.
Like someone at the Charlotte tourist board was like, we're gonna say that 120 people move here daily.
Like, who's looking for the data? Like, I'm gonna go to who's the person that I go to, and I'm like, where's the data? Where's the addresses? Yeah, well, I'm gonna see the license numbers.
I need to know.
Where are the people? So that's why I figured like it was. I didn't even believe what I said.
Oh my God.
I thought it was fake, but I guess now it's not fake.
No, it's not. It's not. It's so strange. And what I'm learning about me is that like I feel like Abe sometimes, you know how you always tell the story about how when you hosted the was it Buckeye Idol back in the day?
Buckeye Country Star.
Yes. It was like American Idol for your radio station.
I was the Ryan Seacrest at the time. So one of our sales girls would make me my Ryan Seacrest cards that I would hold on to with the logo. It's called Buckeye Country Star. And it was held at the Findlay Mall. No, the Bowling Green Mall. That's where it was held.
Well, but your mom would be there and be like, you better go say hi to those people because they want to say hi to you. That's
what really, I mean, this woman, but like, yes, she would shove me in the direction of people and I would be like so nervous and introverted and be like, they don't want to see me. And she'd be like, say hi. And I'd be like, hi. And people do. They did want to say hi.
Well, what it feels like now is whenever Abe and I are at like a bar, like we were bar hopping at this brewery or whatever, like he's the person that's sort of like anybody that's like around us or they're laughing at something, then he'll be like, I know, right? Ha! What's your name? Hi, this is my husband, Miguel. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm so scared. Don't introduce me to anybody. I'm scared to say hi.
And Abe is now your mom. It's fine.
And I don't know why I get like that, but I just get so nervous to talk to new people. And I'm like,
I do too, though. And weirdly, like, people recognize me more now, I almost feel like, or maybe they feel like okay to say something now. I was getting my nails done on Saturday, and the girl next to me like asked me a couple questions about the powder dip, whatever. It was very common. Then I just like staring off in the distance. And then after she was all done and was getting up from her mani, she was like, I just wanted to say hello and I miss you guys here in Gemma. I'm like, oh, hey. And then I'm like, I hope I didn't look like a dumbass just sitting there with my mouth probably hanging open watching like this cooking show. But anyway, and I get embarrassed because I'm like, oh my God, did I not? I should have said something different. I should have been better. And like, if someone was over here, like Abe introducing me to people to be like, look at this radio superstar, I'd be like, no, please, no.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
I just do a job, a thing. I do a thing. I don't know.
Right. Well, and he's not even doing it as like radio. He's just like, hey, we're new here. You want to be friends? You want to talk? You want?
Oh God, that's even worse.
And so I'm like literally.
What if you don't want to be friends?
Right. Well, that's like the people at the pool. They were like laughing about, it was like two girls and a guy, and they were like on the edge right where we were sitting.
Yeah.
On the chairs, and they were laughing about something. I don't remember because I was tipsy by this point. But they were like, ha, ha, ha. And he was like, I know, right? Ah! And I was like mortified. I was like, if I could sink into this folding chair or this beach chair into the ground, I would disappear. But then they came over and they started talking and laughing. And I was just like, oh, who are these people? Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm like, I can't. Why am I the worst?
What is wrong with us? Like, we have jobs where we are actively paid to talk to many people at one time.
I'm like, I don't know. Like, how have I made friends moving to different cities? Like, I don't know how. Like, it's insane. Like,
I already told you the only reason I have friends is because they did not stop pushing me to be their friend. Like, and I will shut it down. I will shut people down. And this is not an open invitation to just bother me in the DMs, please. But like, I always welcome everybody in the DMs. I always reply to everybody. But like some of my best friends, they had to keep the conversation going because I'm like, nobody wants to talk to me.
Well, that's like even one of the spin instructors. He's gay, and I like. It's easier for me, and I guess because even though I'm an elder millennial, I mean, I did do a lot of socializing through chat rooms when that was a thing, and talking and texting and stuff like that. So I feel like it's easier to like that's how I met Jonathan. Is like I added him on Instagram and I like tagged some of the drag performers and stuff. And I was like, hey, like we're new in town. Like we'd love to have you on the podcast. Like that's easy. Did I approach him at the actual restaurant where the drag show was going on?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
I was the quietest, most, let me make myself so small. Well, one of my spin instructors, he's gay, and I added him on Instagram, him and his husband. And I don't know why I fucking do this. After every class I go to of his, he'll be like, hey, so he'll be like, how are things going? Like, how have you tried a new restaurant? And you would think that I'm a doctor, that I can't get out of that spin building fast enough. And he'll want to have a conversation. And I like literally, he'll be like, so how are things going? I'm like, they're good. They're great. They're great. It's good. Okay, thanks. Thanks. I'm like, why can't I just sit and talk to this man? He tried to be my friend and be nice. And I'm steadily looking like I got to go perform open heart surgery. Like, what is wrong?
That's how it is with me in the iHeart Tampa bill. I get so nervous. And wait, tell me if you do this or if it's just me. I try to wrap up the conversation quickly.
Right.
But leave it with like a joke.
do.
I'm like, yeah, well, you know, well, no.
I literally did that Sunday in Zach's class. He was like, glad to have you back. And I was like, yeah, you know, I've been eating all the Charlotte, girl. It's been crazy. Bye. Oh God.
I can't have a normal.
Can't even just be normal. Can't be normal.
I saw Joe from the Joe Show today. He was going, I never see anybody. Like, to be fair, I come in and out of the studio, run to the bathroom and get back. Because I don't know what to say to people anyway. I'm not crying, by the way, because I'm sad. I'm just laughing. I saw Joe. He was like coming out of the door and I was coming in my door and he's like, oh, hey. And I'm like, hey, how are you? He's like, good. He's like, how was your weekend? And I was like, well, busy. I'm a kid. I don't know. It's just a little crazy. I'm going out of town next weekend. That should be good. I don't know. Well, like I just word vomiting. And then he's like, well, maybe me and Ashley, because then we had a quick conversation about how it's hard to fly lately because planes get canceled. And I'm like, I'm going out of town. He's like, well, maybe me and Ashley will come with you because we don't have plans. I was like, well, if you can get a flight. He's like, we'll take a bus. And I was like, ha!
Out the door. Boom.
He might not have been done, but I ran in here.
Like, what is wrong with us? My God.
I can't talk to people. I don't know what to say.
It's the same. So I'm like forcing myself to just like be there and be like, unless you walk away from this conversation, I am right here looking you in your eye socket.
No, I don't know. I'm working myself up to that point. I'm trying. Oh my Jesus. I just never know how to end it. So I try to look for a joke and then run away.
I think you know what it is. I think it's probably not wanting to be one of those people where you feel like someone feels like they have to be obligated to talk to you,
right?
Or they want to get out of the conversation. And so it's like, well, let me bail out before you bail out so you don't feel like you're obligated to talk to me for too long.
I know. And because I have like accidentally done that sometimes because I never know how much of the story is too much.
Right.
And like, I'm trying to pay attention to like, just nonverbal cues. Like, are you over my story? Did I hear one or two? Wow, that's crazy. Like if I did, I'm like, oh shit, I got to get out of here quick.
That's crazy.
Oh no, wrap it up. Like, so I'm agree. I'm trying not to be that person. Cause I don't know. I overthink everything in my life.
I mean, same. That's why I'm
That's
like,
why we get along so well.
Right. And then Abe's just over here making friends and getting people's numbers. And I'm just like, hey,
no,
how are you? I'm here.
Don't want to. That's how my ex-husband is, you remember?
Oh, yes.
And I luckily believe that Maya got that gene because she gets a little like me at first. Like we go to like a new place or whatever. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous. And I'm like, in my head, like, fuck yes, I would be too. I don't know what you're going to do, girl, because this is scary as fuck. And then she just like bounds in there. And literally she started, what's today's Monday? So last week when she got done with COVID, she started a new camp. She's at like different camps for summer in the week. The first day that she's back to camp, I picked her up and she didn't go with a friend. She just went on her own and she comes in. I'm like, how was it? And she's like, oh, good. So my friend, I just met her today, but like, she's my friend. She did this thing. And I'm just like, Jesus, God bless.
Ow!
That gene from getting passed down from my ex because she can also talk to people. Not me.
Well, that's the crazy thing. Like my mom was like, you used to, when you were younger, you would literally make friends anywhere you would go. Like any place.
How did you end up this way then?
I don't know. I think I just got too in my head. And then I don't know. I've
always been this way. I can't even make an excuse. Like, I don't even know what's wrong with me.
I used to be like, hey, want to be my friend? And then like, I think maybe sometime around middle school is when I was just like, hey, I'm here.
Oh.
And then once I feel a little comfortable, then I'm like, hey, y'all, you want to be my friend? What's going on?
I get it.
All right. Well,
let's shuffle off this podcast because it's been too long.
After that's fine. Oh, that's crazy.
Well, that is crazy. All right. Well,
Well, let's give some shout outs here. Amy, she said, y'all need to do a stand-up comedy. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I know.
Adrian said, y'all okay over there? Jason said, LOL at Miguel at his evil laugh. Shelly checking in from Florida. Susan Fisher, Mama Fisher from Atlanta. Mackenzie, hello.
Miss you.
Anne Marie, she said, let it flow. Did I miss anybody? Rosie Lopez, miss you guys from Tampa. There we go. We got everybody. Well, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We'll have another podcast on Wednesday.
Yes.
Make sure to leave a review, please, if you would, wherever you're listening to podcast. And do not forget that you can listen now on iTunes or Apple Podcasts to Miguel and Holly Uncensored, obviously, but also Miguel and Holly Full Show.
Yep.
And Blown Off as their own podcast that you can subscribe to.
Yeah.
So obviously on the iHeartRadio app and now on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and hopefully by the end of the day, Spotify. Until Wednesday, we'll see you then.
Miguel and Holly Uncensored.
Catch it on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you listen to podcasts.